Howdy there folks, and welcome to Bullets for Bucks. Today I have something super exciting to go over, and we tested it at the range. We'll show you those results in just a second. That is the Marlin Dark Series 4570 lever action rifle. Now, I put this through the paces, so let's go ahead and see how it performed. All right, now let's go over the fit, feel, function, specifications of this rifle, and at the end, my opinions on how it performed. So starting at the rear here, you kind of have a skeletonized rubber recoil pad. Pretty unremarkable. It does do an okay job like mitigating felt recoil, but with 4570, it still hits hard. It's about a ½ an inch, probably 3/4 inch actually thick. Comes with a removable cheek riser right here. It kind of clips onto these flush cups that are metal. When I did put it on, it did break off a little chunk on this corner. Now that's probably just user error, but it's still solid and still works just the same. Then it has like this very flat, almost paddle-like buttstock, kind of reminiscent of the old Ruger paddle stock rifle. And this is made, of course, by Marlin, which is now owned by Ruger. And then you have 3 M-lock slots right here. Pretty traditional comb, other than when you put the comb riser on, then obviously it's more modernized and it's pretty high actually. It is made of pretty heavy duty polymer. And then you have a little bit of like stippling here for grippiness. You have a nice lever. Now, I noticed that this kind of catches a lot more than the Henry. Kind of has like a catchiness to it. It's smooth, but I imagine after getting used to it and working a lot, it'll get a little easier. Of course, it has a side gate for loading, and it does have a safety right here, which is interesting. Coming forward, you have the metal receiver. I think it's hard anodized or blued. I'm not actually sure, but it has a coating for rust and corrosion resistance on it. Has a pretty big hammer with a pretty big spur on it with some, like, I guess, knurling so you can really grab it easy. Then it has a very long Picatinny rail that's all metal on top. So you could mount basically a red dot with a magnifier. You could mount a large scope. You could mount a scout, like kind of run like a scout gun and run a scout scope out towards the end. It does come with metal adjustable sights. It has like a little aperture sight, and then it has a large metal and fiber optic sight at the front. Comes threaded, and it comes with a radial muzzle brake here. Then it has M-lock all the way down the side of the metal handguard. This is aluminum, I believe, and then it has 2 flush cups on the side. M-lock all the way down, and the forend goes way out, pretty much all the way to almost the end of the barrel. You could almost C-clamp it if you wanted to. You can grip it like this. It gives you a long range to hold it on. Let's go over and test that trigger. Curved trigger blade. Breaks at 5.5 pounds for me right now. Let's go ahead and try it again here. See with just manually cocking the hammer back if we get any different result. About 5 pounds. I imagine it just fluctuates between 5 and 5.5. And let's go ahead and tell you how much it weighs. So this rifle weighs 7 pounds. It's got a 13.5 inch length of pull. The barrel length on this is 16.17 inches long. This sight is actually a titanium ring sight, so very high quality. The barrel on this is cold hammer forged, which is excellent for durability and accuracy. It's threaded 11/16 by 24. And that's my biggest complaint about this rifle. Now, there are reasons for that, but just from a functional user standpoint, I like 5/8 by 24. You can get way more options easier as far as like thread adapters for silencers or muzzle brakes. Now, it does come with a muzzle brake, but it's a big hassle sometimes getting what you want and 11/16 by 24. So that's really the only big negative I have about this rifle. The twist on this is 1 in 20, which is pretty much standard for 4570 Gov't. And the metal on this is alloy steel. It has a satin black finish. The mag capacity on this is 5. Now, this doesn't have like a loadable tube magazine. You have to load it via the side gate. It works fine. No complaints or issues there. All right, so accuracy was pretty much as expected, very standard for 45-70. With just the sights, plenty good enough out to hit a 6-inch plate, or even probably a 4-inch plate most of the time, out to 50 yards. And then out to 100 yards with an optic, I'm sure it would be just fine. And that's hitting a 6-inch plate standing, freestanding shooting, very easy to do with this rifle. So plenty accurate for grizzly defense or just hunting at closer ranges. Absolutely love this Marlin rifle. I like that it's got a very short overall length. And in fact, let's go ahead and measure that, because for some reason I didn't see that specification somewhere. This makes it excellent for hiking with. It's about 35.5, right around 35.5 inches long. If you do want to get a tripod that's very similar to this, go ahead and check this shopping carousel below. Look for LuxGun, save with promo code bullets for $4. Hope you enjoyed this review of the Marlin Dark Series 45-70 1895 lever action rifle. Thanks for watching Bullets for Bucks. Check out this next video and subscribe.